Hello and welcome to the On the Hunt podcast. We are back and we are at full strength once again. That's right. We got all four members of the podcast with me this evening. I want to say first and foremost to the number one Lions fan, Mr. Bobby Bless. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm good, brother. How about you, man?
I am doing very well, even though Walmart tried to kill me, but we ain't gonna get into all that right now. Nate Rucker, my friend, how's it going?
Yeah,
He is so excited. He is so excited that his screen froze in the middle of all that. So, hey, Reggie Funches, the numbers man, how are the numbers treating you?
well, you know what they say. Numbers don't lie.
You supposed to say
you supposed to follow mine up with a okay. I got the energy for that right now. What?
Well, hey, we are going to have ourselves a show today because it's pretty much all about the free agency period and what's going on. We're going to try to keep you as up to date as we can. This is a pre-recorded show, so please keep that in mind as we are talking about these things. Something might happen after this episode's put up tonight. So please don't be in the comments saying, guys, that guy already signed. We didn't know that whenever we made the video. So just putting that out there. Second, we have got a contest going on. And my goodness, we are going to eventually give away this thing. I promise you. We've been trying to give away this Apple Series 3 watch, and we're going to do so once we hit 350 subscribers. Right now, we are at 346. I'm not making that up. That's really where we are. We are 4 away. So we're looking for 4 more subscribers. And here's how you win that thing. You win that thing by bringing us as many new subscribers as you can and making sure that those new subscribers tell us that you are the one that brought them. So right now, I don't know who's in the lead, but I got to that it's Nate Rucker because he's that bad man. That's right. So you better be beating Nate to get that watch. So good luck to you. And again, make sure that those friends of yours, when they subscribe to us, that they tell us you brought them. Otherwise, you don't get the credit for it. And then we're just going to have to give it to Nate. I'm just kidding. We'll be fair about it.
We'll be fair, but hey, all's fair in love and prizes.
That's right. That's right. Love and prizes. Yeah. Hey, so we are going to go right into things here with Nate Rucker. I'm going to pin Nate on the screen so that everybody can see Nate. And Nate will bring us in as he sees fit. But I think we're going to go over first, who are the folks that the Lions have signed? And also, what's this whole tampering period thing, Nate?
Okay, well, first of all, y'all, let's start with the tampering period. Okay, this is the time where you can go through, you can negotiate. It's what you call people with jobs, we call it an honor system. Because nothing can be completely signed. There's no contracts. Hey, it's the old saying, there's no honor amongst thieves, but I guess in this system it is. So everything is a verbal agreement. You know, hey, both presidents get together. You want him. Okay, bet. Now, I can't say I ever seen where a person has agreed and then later on they've traded them to somebody else. I haven't seen that. Not saying it hasn't happened. Hey, it might be something I don't remember. But as of right now, the tampering period is just basically everything is on verbals. Nothing is official. Nothing is signed. Everything is upon agreement. There's a handshake. There is no ink on contracts. So right now, let's get with our guys. And let's talk about the guys that we have re-signed. Right now, we have re-signed running back Craig Reynolds. We re-signed offensive lineman Matt Nelson. We re-signed, I forgot, our big guy. This is one of Reg and Eli's favorite people in the world. Big guy, John Kaminsky. Got him a nice contract, 2 years, $8.5 million, $4 million guaranteed. Then we went out and we got some cornerback help. We got Emmanuel Mosley. We also went out and got Cam Sutton. Emmanuel Mosley was 1 year, $6 million. Cam Sutton is 3 years, 33. We also, in between there, we re-signed not my favorite guy in Will Harris. We re-signed the big guy, Isaiah Buggs. Beat it. That's all, folks. That guy is back. In the offseason, we got Mac McCain. So, oh, I forgot, and we signed Thor back. We got one of the Avengers who's back with us. So, Elijah, we're gonna start with you, man. Who's one of the guys that we have signed that you wanted back?
So this might come as a surprise to many in the group, but I'm gonna say Craig Reynolds. And I think the reason why that one is interesting to me is just because I don't know what their plan is for him. He was that guy last year behind Swift and behind Williams who got a few carries here and there, but not enough to really make a huge impact on the field. Not trying to be disrespectful, but he just didn't. And when you look at his career, that's kind of been the way for him. He's been somebody who has been very good in the preseason. He's good enough to earn a roster spot, but he doesn't see a lot of on-the-field time. And so my question is, you bring him back, you go through the trouble of bringing him back. Now what? What do you have him there for? I know they like him, but what are they bringing him in for? So that one, to me, I was fine with them bringing him back. I was excited that they brought him back because he is somebody that I think has value, but it's like, where are you going to put him now? And how does that play into Jamal Williams and drafting a running back? Because Craig Reynolds is still in his mid-20s. So that, to me, is kind of interesting.
Okay. All right, Bobby. Which one did you?
To be honest with you, the one I liked the most was Kaminsky. Like they was, we call them stupid boys sometimes, but a lot of people was calling my boy Aiden Hutchinson a bust at the beginning of the season. But when my guy, what's his name, Kaminsky, when my guy Kaminsky came back, yeah, man, he turned the season around. You know what I mean? He made them. He made his rookie year. They got a good combination together. I also feel like he must be teaching them something because Aiden Hutchinson took off when he came back, and then when he was injured for that little part of the season, it's just night and day. So you gotta just for that alone. If you don't even look at Kaminsky stats, if you just look at Aiden Hutchinson production, then you keep Kaminsky. I don't care if that's just who he liked next to him. You know what I mean? We got to keep him.
Right.
So and also it's good to know that he didn't have to wait till the whole end of the free agent period to even get signed. Because last year we signed him late in the year. So
Right.
that's how I really feel. Yeah, that's how I really Kaminsky. None of them none of those. I want Jamal Williams, so I ain't gonna even act like I'm excited until they get my boy in here, man. So all good. How about you, big dog Reggie?
Rich?
Definitely Kaminsky.
I stole yours. My bad, big dog.
No, you fine. I mean, it's the sheer impact. You can see it. It's not one of those guys where you're like, okay, who's this dude that randomly gets injured, and we watch our high end rookie double teams go through the roof. Couldn't get much separation.
Yep.
Wait, Nate. Okay,
Nate.
Hold on one second. But his impact was evident because when he came back, we watched Aiden take off, just like you said, Bobby. And
yeah, he did.
Really, and we know that this has got to be one of Dan Campbell's guys. And I'm thinking the same thing might be true about Craig Reynolds. That might be why he got re-signed. Maybe it's his intensity, his impact, whatever he's doing in the locker room, his effort. Those are the things that we know Dan Campbell puts a premium on, especially after what he said about the kids they seen at the combine, where he said he only saw 4 people that.
Yeah, you're right, Ray. I forgot about that.
So we know that he's looking for more than just what you're doing on the field. He's looking for those intangibles as well. So I know John Kaminsky brings that, and that's why Dan wanted to make sure he came back.
Sweet. Yep. My guy, I liked Isaiah. I went with Isaiah Buggs.
I forgot about him. Damn.
Man, just because of what he did when him and Aleem McNeil and the veteran leadership, the energy, the way he took over as the run stuffer in the middle, you know, and just became completely disruptive. And all the guys rallied around him. He came in and solidified himself as one of the leaders in that locker room, you know. And again, being part of that D-line, man, I love it. Now, who was one of your guys' least favorite? Or actually, which one, is there one that you didn't really care for?
Yeah, I'll jump on that one. Sorry, Elijah. Craig Reynolds. How the hell you sign him before you sign my guy, man? Shit, nothing against Craig Reynolds. Shit, he wasn't better than Jackson to me. So, but whatever. I don't hate the kid. Ain't that what how Elijah always said? Let me tell you, I don't hate the kid. So I don't hate the kid, but I'm trying to get Jamal Williams back signed before Craig Reynolds. But that's just personal though.
Right. Okay, Red.
I guess Will Harris. Like, man.
That's Nate guy.
But you know, he might just be for depth purposes. You know, at this point, you know, we of course we don't go over it, but you know,
and then it's
I
still
don't know,
only for 1 year.
A little early to sign for depth. Just my opinion.
Well, you just signed. Since you just signed 2 cornerbacks, so it's not like
they like him at safety because he was doing good rushing the line.
Mm-hmm. And
he sucked at safety. He was even worse.
You thought he sucked?
Oh yeah, he was worse at safety. It's very rare you find a guy who goes from safety to corner and gets better. Normally it's the other way around. But I don't know. No, he sucked at safety. Elijah,
like something.
So for me, the one that I wasn't a huge fan of is probably going to be one that I get a lot of pushback from the gentleman on the screen. Okay, I'm just going to be honest and prepare myself now.
See, Elijah, you started shit, but go ahead.
Lordly.
Oh my God.
I like him, but at the same time, I feel like we invested a lot in him. And there's other guys out there who we could have got who would have done a better job. That to me is Alex Anzalone.
I agree. I don't disagree.
There were so many linebackers that were out there. And it's like we don't know. I mean, we don't know if Brad Holmes made phone calls and other people just didn't call him back or they changed their number after too many minutes. We have no idea. But it seems like we're signing Anzalone, who was one of the first people that they brought into this locker room when this new administration took over. And to me, I feel like that's why he's there, is because he was one of the first that came to Detroit whenever nobody wanted to come here. And I get loyalty, but at the same time, I feel like you could have signed him and then you could have signed somebody else. And I'm also a little, I don't want to say that I'm a little concerned, but it seems like we put a lot of emphasis on going out there and getting corners and not an emphasis on going out there and getting linebackers. I feel like the money we spent on the corners, like we could have spent that money on going out there and getting one of these linebackers. That's how I feel about it. Because I don't know the corners that we got. Not saying they're not any good, because Reggie will tell you they're pretty good. But I just feel like take that money that you gave them and go out there and get Bobby Wagner to put next to Rodrigo, or go out there and get Tremaine Edmonds, who now is in our freaking division. So because we didn't go out there and get him, we're gonna end up going out there and seeing our quarterback get hit by him. So that's just, to me, I feel like that was a missed opportunity. But I trust Brad Holmes, so there must be a reason. So. He probably checked the Carfax, as Bobby would say, and he didn't like.
Oh yeah, you gotta check that Carfax, man. You don't know why they're getting rid of it.
He did allude to it, but that's essentially why I never really trip when a team signs with somebody else, because it's got to be mutual. They got to want to be here. They got to say, "Hey, this is where I want to be. This is the system I like." some people might not like Dan Campbell. Like,
Right.
it could be a combination of different things. And like you said, the biggest thing is bringing in guys that are going to put in maximum effort. They're going to do the job. He does have room for growth. It's not like he's a horrible linebacker or something like that. Right. He does have room. But yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
And there's still a couple of guys out there too right now that we can still go after where we can be like, okay, I get it.
And a lot of people say, and it comes with that Comiskey thing too, because a lot of people say that it was Anzalone that was one of the big reasons why Malcolm Rodriguez took off too. So maybe that gotta be a lot to do with it that I need to put out there.
Yeah, and the other thing, much like Bobby, I'm on Jamal Williams' watch. I'm refreshing every 30 seconds to say, when are we going to sign the guy who scored the most rushing touchdowns in the NFL last year?
Hey, well, truthfully, like Bobby said, he broke Barry's record. He ain't Barry.
Right.
So.
Okay, we need to explain that though, because I pulled a trick on Bobby earlier in our plan.
And dirty dog.
And I told him this is obviously a joke. Okay, so anybody listening to this part of the show, this is a joke. This is not real. But I told Bobby,
if you want to get in touch with Elijah, no, go ahead.
I told Bobby that the Lions had re-signed Jamal Williams to a 3-year, $75 million contract. And he about jumped out of his chair and spilled his drink everywhere because he said, no, not that much money. And I said, but I thought you liked Jamal. So it was a joke. But yeah, I want Jamal back, not at 3 years, $75 million though.
Yeah.
I'll give him monopoly money.
Then I said he broke Barry record. He ain't Barry. Shit.
Yeah. So that's where that comes from.
Scare me like that.
And that's the funny thing about it too. Like that number got to be right. Like if Jamal, like
and them running backs don't get paid, man.
Capitalize on what I did.
Well, again, I mean, right now, this is the thing: the running back value, the value of running backs is gradually decreasing every year.
Right.
Every year. Like, so truthfully, we always talk about market value. If you're talking about his market value, dude, it's really not.
Le'Veon Bell did that. Le'Veon Bell did it.
And here's the thing that gets me though. Like, here's the thing that gets me, and I'm sure you guys would agree on this. The teams that want him, okay, that have rumored to be wanting him, the Buffalo Bills and the Cincinnati Bengals, he ain't starting for either one of those teams because they both already have established running back. So he's going to go be the number 2 guy instead of being our number 1 guy.
Again.
And who is the Buffalo Bills running back?
It's going to be James Cook. He was under development.
But
now that Devin Singletary's out of the way, it's going to be James Cook because all he needed was
better than Cook.
Jamal was better than Cook.
He's better than Cook. Here's the thing: the difference between him and Jamal is the experience,
right?
The size,
pass pro,
and the pass protection. But when you're talking about what the Bills do, you're talking about him being explosive, the ability to take a screen, to take the distance. Yeah. You can put him out in the slot, so you can motion him out of the backfield, and you put him in one-on-one against a linebacker. He can win that. There is a difference, you know. And like you say, burst, explosion. The biggest thing is the ability to catch the ball. We see Jamal, he can't catch that mud like he catching a loaf of bread. He can catch it like this, and he's still gonna drop it.
But that's what I'm saying. James Cook is gonna be their guy, and then he'll be their beat him up between the tackles guy. But in Cincinnati, there's no job for him. They got Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the top running backs from last year. Now Jamal was in the top 15. He was actually 12th in total yards. Of course, we already know he was number 1 in touchdowns. But here is the weird thing. Out of the top 15,
I love them numbers, Reggie. That's what's
The
up.
only
It'll
the only person that had a lower carry or yardage per carry is Najee Harris at 3.8.
And you know
Mahomes
what? And Cincinnati
at
still
4.1.
has P-Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah, and P-Ryan is pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm
and
just
Joe
saying,
Mixon
for me-
already are every down back too. Yeah.
So I'm just saying, for me on Jamal, obviously I want him here in Detroit. I love Jamal,
Yeah.
but
You jinxed it
I
though.
don't understand the reasoning behind even entertaining going somewhere where you're not even going to be number one. You might not be number two, and this is going to be the last contract this man most likely gets in the NFL at his
The
age.
money. The money.
You know what?
That's
I do ask
why.
the question: is it cheaper for me to just draft a running back and
It
put him
is.
behind,
Very cheaper.
behind? I mean, well, we know it's cheaper, but
Yeah.
does it make more sense for us to do it because we do have an awesome line?
If you get Bijan or you get Jahmyr Gibbs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Me-
but like I said,
me-
but
me
then
and Nate been on that train since the beginning.
it gets into that point of where do you draft them? Because number one, if you, the only running back that's worthy of a first round pick is Bijan. That's the only one. Now, when you're talking about third round, it's loaded. You might get McBride, Fournette. I mean, a Charbonnet.
I was about to say the kid from UCLA.
Yeah. Zach Charbonnet, Dwayne McBride. You know, you've got Deuce Vaughn.
I'll take him
so there's guys that you can get in that third round. But like I say, there's only one first round running back, and he's not going to be there at 18. So
you got to get him at
is
6.
he worth you drafting him at 6, or do you trade back a little bit and you draft him right outside the top 10 and see what type of picks you can get?
I just can't see this team drafting a running back that high with the defense having as many holes as it's got. I just can't see it.
Me either. But this, like I said, this is why it's all hypo.
So
you get a linebacker too, though, in the third round too, because you know they got Rodriguez with the 6, so he probably willing to roll the dice late round.
You know, I think that's one of them where maybe Brad Holmes is probably so confident in his drafting abilities and his scouts that he's not worried about trading back to get more picks. I think he's just that confident in what they're doing that, hey, the fans might not see it, but I know where we're going. I'm looking at these guys where we're going.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey, everything ain't got to be sexy for it to be successful. You know, our draft was considered, what was it when it first got done? They gave us like a B or a C.
Oh yeah, they dogged our draft.
Right.
And then at the end of the year, we've got the number one draft. We got the number one draft.
Right.
Where the guys that we picked, because of their production, they've got them gone earlier. Rodrigo is a third round guy now.
So the only thing that I would say is that, and me and Nate have been kind of going back and forth on the running back thing for since the middle of last season. Nate's a Bijan guy. I'm a Jahmyr Gibbs guy. Okay.
Yeah.
I would not be shocked. I would not be shocked if Jahmyr Gibbs finds his way into that first round. And I know that Nate's going to say I'm crazy, and I get it, but nobody had a first round grade on Jameson Williams last year either. And he came out of nowhere. And they should have had a first round grade on him, but because of the injury, they did not.
Well, no, but that doesn't count though. That doesn't count. No, that's not even the same.
Found
because
Jameson top 15 in every single
Jameson
analysis.
No, but remember, Jameson was the number one wide receiver before his ACL injury.
Right.
That's the only reason why. No, that doesn't count.
But what I'm saying,
remember the dude that yanked the chain? He the one said get Aiden Hutchinson and move up to get what's his name? Talib. What's his name?
Yeah,
old quarterback.
Akeem Talib.
But what I'm saying is when we drafted Jameson Williams, every single person that was doing the television broadcast, the people that are supposed to know so much, all went, "Oh yeah, Jamison Williams." Like they forgot
I didn't
about
like it.
because
I didn't like
again,
it.
that's because he was hurt though, not because
Yeah.
he didn't have a first round grade. He was the best wide receiver before the injury.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I would not be shocked if Jahmyr Gibbs finds himself in the first round or early second round. But I think if you get, Bijan or you get Jahmyr, I think Detroit would be in good hands either way. If they decide to draft a running back.
I will throw this out there. I would not mind Trenton Simpson at 18.
You said what?
I would not mind Trenton Simpson at 18.
No. Well, remember, we're talking about running backs. We're not talking about linebackers.
I'm just saying in general. I could throw that in if I
Don't say that. We ain't even on the linebacker part yet. Rex has had to throw himself out there.
How many times I've heard Anzalone and Rodriguez's name in the last 5 minutes?
No, you're right on that. I derailed us because we had a whole plan.
Okay.
And then I started talking about Jamal Williams. Let's get back on track with free agents.
Right. So now, y'all, let's jump into our division. Right now, the Bears are the scariest team outside of us, and the Packers, they're losing guys. They haven't signed anybody. Minnesota, they're releasing guys. They haven't signed anybody. And the Bears just decided to go out and grab the 2 top linebackers, arguably 2 of the top 10 best linebackers, in the league right now. So,
their career over with.
I don't know. Let's start with Reg. What is your take on that? How do you think that plays out?
I'm taking in my boots right now. I'm not even gonna hold you up. I can see one, but 2, they trying to go back to old school Chicago Bears football.
Brian Urlacher and Lance Briggs.
They said, okay, I want to have a bunch of Hal Howard offenses. Well, guess what? I'm gonna try to get this defense in order, which is smart. And that's why I said, like, it sucks. Like, I would have loved to get one of the guys.
They ain't got no line still though.
That's true. They still don't have no line. But we've seen where you can draft some offensive linemen, whatever, but getting plug and play guys out of free agency like that, where that completely changes the Bears' whole draft. And then on top of that, they traded the first and got 5 more picks. So it's like, ooh. So, I don't know. Eli, what's your take on that, dog?
So, unlike Reggie, I ain't worried about a damn thing. To be completely honest. So here's the thing, okay? Stupid franchises do stupid things. Stupidly. Okay? You can trust on death, taxes, and the Chicago Bears never having a good offense, because that's what they do, all right? Like, they have never been able to put together an offense. I don't mean one player running the whole damn thing. I mean an offense. Even on their Super Bowl winning team, or Super Bowl team, where Rex Grossman led them to the Super Bowl, it was Devin Hester in the defense that did most of the work. Okay, so for me, I'm not too concerned about it because of what Bobby said. Yes, they might have a great defense, and they might go out there and they might get DJ Moore to go next to some of the other receivers they have. But until they protect their quarterback where he can actually see those guys down the field, I ain't worried about nothing, to be perfectly honest with you. As long as our defense plays a lot more like they did toward the end of the season and a lot less like they did against the Philadelphia Eagles. Because otherwise, you're going to be chasing Justin Fields all over the field every single time we play the Bears. So that's kind of where I'm at.
You're a little word on the block. They shot for him, too.
Justin Fields?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'll get into my conspiracy theory on the Chicago Bears here in a little bit, but for me though, as of right now, their quarterback is Justin Fields, and they still have yet to protect him. With all that money they had, and see that's the thing that gets me is like they had, if I'm not mistaken, the most money to spend in free agency, and they have not spent it all yet, so they still got some money to spend, but like they're not going out there and getting protection for him. They got one guard, and I guess they assume that they can draft other people. But like, let's be real about this. There's only a few Panay Sewells out there, and there's a hell of a lot of Gosder Cherilus out there, where you draft people and they don't work out. Okay, they don't work out at line, at offensive line and cornerback especially. But speaking of offensive line, if they think they can draft a great offensive line that's going to come in and dominate next year, forget about it. That's probably not going to happen. So that's where I'm at. Until they protect whoever their quarterback's going to be, the defensive stuff doesn't matter to me. That's where I'm at. Bobby, what do you think? Because I know you don't like the Bears just as much as I do.
Yeah, I hate the Bears, but y'all covered pretty much about the free agency. I'll just talk about the actual trade they did with Carolina to swap out. Me personally, I think they traded back too far. And the reason why I say that, because even though they getting those picks, maybe that first round pick could have been your generational pick, because the Bears don't never pick first. Oh, this is the first year they sucked the most. So I figure that'd have been their year to get a franchise changing player. Because at 9, at 9 and 10, them just, I ain't gonna be honest, them just guys. And if they unless they plan on drafting all offensive line with those picks they acquired, it wouldn't be a good pick. I mean, a trade for me. Now, if they say, bam, we move back, now all those picks we got for them is going to be our line to protect Justin Fields, then I'm with you. But if they keep on trying to get defense, and then I'm sorry, if your lineman ain't second round at least, you know what I mean? They ain't gonna be a factor, just like you said. They gonna be guys. So that's all. That's how I really feel about it. They shouldn't have went back so far.
No,
Maybe they
I'm about to smoke this now.
to see who is picking like the Colts. The Colts. Would they pick third or something?
Let me
see where the coach picked, because they need a quarterback. You just was talking about in the meeting. I think they cut Matt Ryan. So what was they trying to do?
They're going to cut Matt Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'd have been trying to trade with them right at their spot before 9.
True. The Indianapolis Colts are number 4. They pick 4th.
See, I'd have been trying to trade the 4. Now, and the reason, and they know that playbook, because they dumbasses trade all those picks to get Trubisky with the 49ers. So that's what I've been trying to do. You done seen it worked on you, so you working on them. You know what I mean? Right. That's how I feel about it, to be honest. But yeah, I would have been trying to trade with the Colts.
They
Colts ain't got nothing. They ain't even had a piece of quarterback since Andrew Luck retired, man. You know what I mean? Because I'm pretty sure they would have either want C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young. Also, it ain't just the Carolina Panthers thinking like that.
All right, so just for clarity, Chicago has the 3rd best guard, PFF or wise, overall. He got the 19th tackle in Braxton Jones. They got another guard at 17th. Now, looks like the biggest issue they have is at center.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. That's the fickle thing about offensive line. Sometimes it just takes one guy,
right,
to make everybody look bad,
to shift everybody into the position where they need to be. And right, that's why I said with certain things, if you shore up one side of your football field, which is what we've done,
right,
side, if they shore up their defensive side, and then they said we're going to invest all of our assets after that into one side of football, it may not be next year, but it could be in 2, it could be in 3, where we're looking like, damn, Chicago, y'all really actually did that smart for once. That's why I said, when it comes to shoring up one side of football, I'm always like,
Yeah, no. Like, and I just want to make sure that like I'm clear on what I said. So Reggie's smart with what he said there. You know, yes, it's probably delayed gratification, but when it hits, that's going to be the problem. But I guess what I'm coming from is I believe in our coaches and I believe in our GM enough that even if they do get their instant gratification or, you know, their delayed gratification, we're going to be ready for them. That's what I'm saying. But Reggie is right. Like, you know, if they do shore up that side of the ball and they get one of the best defenses in the league, okay, here we go. For me, I would have liked to see them spend all that money on making sure that they capitalize on that offensive line and they get really good backups for when folks go down, because that's the thing. You can have 5 great offensive linemen, but if you don't have backups behind them who are worth it, then you're going to struggle all season long because big fellas get hurt easily, or not easily, but a lot. So that's where I'm coming from on that. Nate?
All right, there we go. I'm back. I was getting together. I had to relocate.
And another thing I'm looking at too, their offensive line ain't old either.
Yeah. So maybe it's just
they got some young guys. It might be, you know, bring in a veteran guy, a veteran tackle. Because, you know, the biggest thing is like when you have, like I was thinking about like with Lamar, like they created a system where it enhanced Lamar's skill set and it was built around it. Sometimes it might just take them making that adjustment as well, and that's why I'm on board with us going after somebody like that. Yeah. I don't know if we delve into that a little bit later, but
Reggie's like, hey, like let's talk about it right now. But just real quick before we do that, and I'm totally fine talking about Lamar Jackson. I think everyone knows where I stand, but I'll say it again. But I do want to get Nate's thoughts on the Bears and their free agent signings. Reggie says he's shaking in his boots. Me and Bobby say we ain't afraid of what they got.
Again, I mean, I'm not afraid of what they got either, because their offense still is what it is. They don't have any outs. They don't have anything else besides Justin Fields running around like a chicken with his head cut off. So, I mean, no.
Giving us the Lemony Dickens.
Like I said,
he was giving us the Lemony Dickens, though.
Right. That's what they got to say. I like the fact that they got 2 of the best linebackers out there. That's what I like. Besides that, they still the Bears. They still suck ass. So, we got to see.
Okay, and they got DJ Moore, but their second best receiver is Mooney still, or because
no, Mooney's going to be there.
Notre Dame ain't all that. I can't remember.
Yeah, he's actually most likely going to be their number 1. So there you go.
Cool.
Right.
But they still got Claypool, and they don't got no receiver still. DJ Moore ain't all that by himself.
St. Brown 2.0.
So here's a question. I'm gonna pop in here with a question real quick before we go to Lamar Jackson talk. What if the Chicago Bears, because everybody's thinking they're going to try to pick defense. That's what I thought they were doing. That's what a lot of their fans think they're doing. But what if this is all a smoke screen, and for once in Chicago Bears' lifetime, they're going to go out there and try to get a offensive weapon who will strike fear to go with Justin Fields, i.e. Bijan Robinson, i.e. Quentin Johnson from TCU. I mean, at number 9, that could be a value.
I ain't scared though. I ain't scared with no youngster with Justin Fields. Yeah, that kind of quarterback.
But delayed gratification, is that something to be afraid of?
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
no, because you have to look at it like this. Number one, you're talking about even if they were to draft Bijan Robinson, they have Hester, who they're high on, and they're high. Of course, they love David Montgomery.
Yeah.
So that's two. Now you're talking about wide receiver wise. Okay, they could go Quentin Johnson or they may go Jalen, but Quentin Johnson, of course, is or your guy Jordan Addison. But you're talking about a legitimate rookie wide receiver coming in trying to make that type of impact with that type of quarterback, with that type of offense. Well, you're talking about an anemic ass offense. That's like an EMS trying to get to the hospital with the parking brake on.
So you don't think that Quentin Johnson or Jordan Addison or whoever at wide receiver or Bijan would end up having a rookie campaign similar to that of Jamar Chase?
Absolutely not, because it's not even that type. It's not the offensive makeup.
Right. Okay.
Like you say, they literally have to draft fucking 4, or they need to draft 3 new offensive linemen just alone. They need 3.
I don't care. I don't care if they get
Justin Fields, precision passer, like waiting for routes to develop, hitting guys on the dime. Like, he's never been that type of quarterback, and he may get there, but it won't be instantly.
Yeah,
actually,
Elijah,
I want to say that last year they said he was 3rd in intermediate routes and yards thrown. So his accuracy within intermediate yards last year. So,
well, a lot of that, dude.
It's not like
with him breaking the pocket and guys it was like a scramble drill. So all of that there, but that was playground.
But
it's not like
it ain't like it's gonna stop. It ain't like it ain't like
what is one of Joe Burrow's most famous quotes? Jamar's down there somewhere.
Yeah, but there's no Jamar.
You get Justin Fields, Quentin Johnson. Johnson's down there somewhere.
Look,
Elijah,
I'm gonna end this conversation.
I will say this, to be honest, though.
Okay.
That's why them shopping him is what's actually most interesting to me. Because if they're trying to move him to one of these teams that have a top draft pick that are looking at a quarterback, they may be looking at a different QB to run their team,
right,
with more assets to grab who it is that they want. Now that's where this could get funny. That's why I'm saying with Chicago right now, everything's in flux.
Yeah, because they've got a new GM, so you don't know where he's going with it. I mean, he was going to pony up that first pick with so many holes.
Yeah.
So
and then grab a bunch of assets and then take that same guy that can get you a lot more assets back. So it's I'm saying it's
if you don't have the offensive line, how the hell he gonna throw them the ball? I don't care who it is.
Oh man! Hey, that's what we all think about Chicago. But let's go around the league for a second. Let's go around the league for a second, and then we are going to get to Lamar Jackson. I promise you. By the way,
yeah, we will.
If you enjoyed this show, like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate it very much. Let's go around the league.
Al Bundy
your most interesting signing or trade that's happened so far that's not Lions related. Let's start off with Bobby Bless. Bobby, your most interesting trade or signing that's happened outside of the Lions.
I live in Ohio. Cleveland Browns. Deshaun Watson said to restructure. They got the Tomlinson kid from Minnesota to play defensive tackle. I think they got a good deal with him, and I think he was a good tackle. That's a kind of guy I wanted for our team, to be honest with you, because he would have been in the division. He knows the different offenses and stuff, and he's still young. So that was kind of interesting to me. That was the most interesting. And as far as free agents, like we said in our little special episode on Saturday, Elijah, check the Carfax, because there's a reason why most of these guys get let go. So I'm more of a draft guy anyway. But just to see Cleveland get a guy that I wanted, I think they headed in the right direction. What about you, Nate? What you think, Big Dog?
Me would be 49ers and getting one of the top defensive tackles to add to that already staggering stingy ass defense. They got Hargrave out there now. You know, you drop him right in the middle of Bosa and the rest of these guys, you know, and them linebackers gonna eat, man. Now they really have a true 0 to 3 technique who's gonna eat up all the double teams and can win against those double teams and can sack the quarterback. So to me, that was the most interesting thing, and also that Philly let him go. I'm like, dog, what is this? But Philly let him go, and he went with San Fran. So that's the one for me. Reg?
Not so much with impact, but just kind of a messed up situation. Darren Waller was traded to the Giants.
Yeah.
Or 3.
The man just got
married
to his wife. She plays for the Las Vegas Aces. Of course, he was playing for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Right.
Now, right after they got married, he gets sent to New York, and she's still in Las Vegas. And the word on the block is that the coach released some information about them being married before they actually wanted it released. Darren said something about it, and next thing you know, he was traded. So, kind of a messed up situation. You know, the NFL's a business.
I know it ain't. That what's the dude name? That was the Patriot. What's his name? The Patriot old coach. That's their coach.
Josh McDaniels. And
yeah,
before Bobby goes into it, before
he's
scum. He gonna spoil what I was gonna say. So I'm gonna stay with the Las Vegas Raiders, but I'm gonna talk about a different situation. The most interesting signing to me, Jimmy Garoppolo going to the Raiders. Now, here's why I find that interesting. There's two sides of this coin. On one side, it's the 49ers, okay? We knew going into this offseason, they had an abundance of riches at quarterback. They had Trey Lance, who's pretty good. They had Jimmy G, who's pretty good. And they had that awe-inspiring story of Brock Purdy last season. And so for once, it was kind of looking like, man, that 49ers GM is putting in the work and he's looking super smart for doing it, because every time they lose the starting quarterback, they got somebody who's actually good behind them. And then Josh Johnson happened. But anyway, my point is now we have a little bit more clarity in the 49ers situation, because you got Trey Lance versus Brock Purdy versus Sam Darnold. Now, we all know Sam Darnold is not going to win that starting job, okay? But who is it going to be for the 49ers? That's going to be interesting to me to hear about, and I think you're going to hear a lot about that when it comes to NFL shows like that. But the other side of the coin is Jimmy G going to the Raiders. Now, this should be said. Josh McDaniels, he's the Raiders coach for now. But if they start off slow this upcoming season, mark my words, he could get fired in the middle of the season. And so for him, this is a move where he says, listen, I was there when they drafted Jimmy G. I've already coached Jimmy G before with the Patriots. I need my guy. Because they already got rid of Jarrett Stidham. He's not there no more. So for Josh McDaniels, he's putting all his eggs in the Jimmy G basket. And if you know, you can ask a casual football fan, even people who don't even watch football, what's the one thing we know about Jimmy G? He is always hurt.
I look at it like this.
What's going to happen? I like Jimmy G.
Josh McDaniels is going to be just like the rest of all these coordinators that come under Bill Belichick and leave. They go out there and they try to beat Bill Belichick and get their ass shipped right back to New England as a special assistant.
And that's what I'm saying, is if Jimmy G and the Raiders start off slow this year, he's getting fired. if Jimmy G gets injured and he doesn't play a full 17 games, or hell, even 14 games, Josh McDaniels is going to end up getting fired because I don't know who they got behind Jimmy G, but they really screwed their whole situation up in Las Vegas. Plus getting rid of Darren Waller, who's one of the better tight ends in the league, also a former Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket, by the way. That to me is just insane. So we'll see what happens. But to me, that was the most interesting signing outside of Aaron Rodgers. But I can't call it a signing because it hasn't happened yet. And I keep checking to see what's going on with that situation, and nothing is happening on my phone. So,
Hey, Elijah, I will say the scariest rumor for me though is Lamar possibly going to San Francisco.
yeah.
Oh, that'll be over with.
Yes,
That'll be
I-
over with.
So let's get into
It'd be
Lamar Jackson because
over
we know that Lions fans have been talking about this, and some Lions fans have been like saying they're going to name their firstborn child after Lamar if we win the Super Bowl with Lamar, even though he's not even on the team yet. So Nate, we'll start with you. Your thoughts?
No,
on
y'all go ahead and start. Actually, I've got a special guest here he's a Lions / Baltimore Ravens fan.
Okay.
So his take, I think it will be from the Baltimore side and as well from the Lions side, and how the two sides, how that's going. So
Right.
I'm gonna let y'all go. And then I'll introduce my guest, and then we'll let him
Okay.
I think it'll be the first for us. So let's go ahead.
Nate, who do you want to go first on this?
Let's go with the big boy. Let's go with that numbers guy.
All right, Reggie, you are on the clock.
Because he been itching.
I just want to put Lamar on the behind that offensive line, like with these weapons that we got. That's the biggest thing I'm looking at, because being able to add a QB with a mobile threat, period, I think it take this offense to the next level. And now you're also taking the pressure off your defense if they don't shore up certain spots, because you can literally control the offensive side of the ball anytime you step on the field. So all those moments that we saw with Goff where, dang, 3-0, we really kind of needed you to have a long drive right there to kind of take the pressure off again.
Them 3rd and 1 bombs can be
The
3rd and
1 bombs.
campers.
Exactly. and those are the areas where I'm like, that's the difference between having somebody like Goff at QB and having somebody like Lamar at QB. And then, from the national perspective, you get somebody like that on your team, you start talking about free agents wanting to play here. You start talking about guys like, you know what, I want to go play with Lamar. You look what they got going on over here on offense.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. So those are the just off the top of the head of things that get me excited about it. And you're still talking about somebody that was a former MVP, man. Like, so let's not sugarcoat.
Yeah, ain't no bum.
Let's not talk about the sugarcoat how good this dude actually is. So that's how I feel about it. I didn't catch how you felt about it. So you let me know, Bobby.
To be honest with you, I think Lamar, the way my boy Lamar Jackson play, it speaks for itself. So I ain't really got too much to say about that. I really think
you worry about that money.
Yeah, but not even that though. It's more so like because he don't have an agent. We always talk about setting the market. If he get all that money without an agent, some of these dudes aren't as useful as they need to be. So I think it's more so of the agents and the owners together. Usually you won't get the agents and stuff like colluding, but if he can get all this guaranteed money without an agent, maybe I should have Lamar be my agent too, kind of thing. He doing too. He's setting it up for two gravy. Even because even when he get done, he can. Hey, if Lamar can be an agent, if he getting that money like that, you feel me? He opens so many doors up for himself that don't got really nothing to do with football. That they don't want him to get that money without nobody that's commissioned it. To be honest, and because the football speaks for itself. I think that's the really foul play on it. Elijah, what's your take, brother?
Man, I've got so much to say on this. I really do. So bear with me, folks. Sit back, pour yourself a good drink, because here we go. You might be listening to what I'm saying and saying I need to drink. But anyway, we're going to get into it here. So first of all, I'm going to say this. Thanks, Cleveland. Because we would not be in this situation if it was not for the Cleveland Browns. Because the Cleveland Browns went out there and gave Deshaun Watson a $230 million fully guaranteed contract. And at the time, that was something that was a really, really big deal. And all the NFL teams were pissed at Cleveland for doing it because they knew that the premier quarterbacks in the league moving forward are going to want a fully guaranteed deal. So for Lamar Jackson, he's one of the premier talents in this league. He's one of the premier quarterbacks in this league, in my opinion, for what he's able to bring to the table. He wants a fully guaranteed deal. And the Baltimore Ravens don't want to do it. And the thing is that as much as folks look at football as a macho sport, it is, at the end of the day, about relationships. It's about feelings. And I can promise you that feelings have been hurt. Bridges have been burned to a crisp between Lamar Jackson and these Baltimore Ravens. Because the Baltimore Ravens, okay, they got to negotiate directly with Lamar. And Bobby and I talked about this on our Saturday show that we did. When you have an agent, the agent goes into those conversations and you sit back as the talent, and the next conversation you get is, hey, will you take this deal? Okay, you don't want that deal. I'm going to go back. I'm going to try again. And then you get the piece of paper, you sign it, and you go spend the money. Okay? That's not what's happening in this situation. As we all know, Lamar's getting how the Ravens really feel about him. Unfiltered, 150%. And I guarantee you they are saying things to him now that he never knew they felt about him. And that can be very, very dangerous. So I think Lamar Jackson, I don't think he wants to go back to the Ravens. I think even if they sign him to a new contract, he doesn't want to go back to the Ravens. But the problem is the Ravens have made Lamar, at least in a lot of people's public perception, look like he is selfish because he wants this money, which is bullshit. Okay. He's not selfish because he wants this money. All right. And if he ends up having to go back to Baltimore to play there, exactly, he's in a no-win situation because he can't not play, because then the Ravens can spin that and say, look, we gave this guy all this guaranteed money and he won't play. Therefore, he's a problem. Okay. They're going to try to make him look like a problem. But what the Ravens have done is they have put that non-exclusive franchise tag on him, and they're going to let another team go out there and do the work for them. And then if the offer is something they can handle financially, they'll do it. And he won't even play it down for that other team. He'll play it down for the Ravens or nobody at all. So that's kind of the backside of this. Now, when it comes to the Lions side of it, here's how I feel about it. All right. Brad Holmes, if you believe that this is the year we win the Super Bowl, then you make this move. Because I lived in Atlanta during the Michael Vick experience. And Michael Vick got those Falcons, who weren't very good, there wasn't a whole lot of talent around Michael Vick, to the NFC Championship game. Now, they got slaughtered in the NFC Championship game against the Eagles, but he got them there. He also beat Green Bay at a time where they weren't losing at home. Period. So that was a big deal as well. But for Lamar Jackson, what I find to be the difference maker here is that he's walking into a situation with more weapons than Michael Vick ever had, and a better offensive line than Michael Vick ever had in Atlanta if he ends up coming to Detroit. So again, if you believe that, Detroit's going to win the Super Bowl this year, then go out there and make this move. But realize that when you do it, you're going to have to pay a lot of money, which means that a few years down the road, when you got to pay Aiden Hutchinson, when you got to pay St. Brown, when you got to go out there and pay all these rookies that we love so much, you might not have the money to do it. So that's something that I think Lions fans, and obviously the Lions organization is already considering it. They're looking at it going, hey, if we get this guy and we win the Super Bowl, nobody gives a shit if we can't pay these guys. Because you look at the Rams, they're falling apart, but their fan base doesn't care about that because they're still living off their Super Bowl. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. As far as would I do it? I wouldn't necessarily do it because I think you still need to build up the rest of this team. But again, if Brad Holmes did it, I'm not going to be upset about it. So that's kind of where I'm coming from on it. I know that seems kind of wishy-washy and that was very long, but that's how I feel about this whole thing. If you feel like we're going to win the Super Bowl and we're one player away, do it. But you better win the Super Bowl or at least get there. And if you don't think we can do it, then don't even consider this. Keep building through the draft. Keep letting it come to us the way it's been the last 2 years, and let's see what happens. Nate, I'm going to toss it over to you because I've taken up a lot of time, my friend.
It's good. It's good. Well, what I'm going to do first, man, I'm going to introduce a brother of mine. His name, name, he goes by Jack Tripper. But his name is Donez, man, one of the guys that, truthfully, like one of my brothers that we talk sports continuously. A former college guy, a former college hooper who has all the basketball experience and basketball knowledge, but he's a football guy too. So we're gonna bring him on and let him talk his shit. But the crazy part is he's right along the sides of you as far as the mental aspect when going towards the game, how he looks at it. So, hey, I'm going to let him slide in. Hey, let me slide over. I'm out of there.
Silly, man. You out of mind. Gentlemen, how y'all doing, man?
Very
What's
good,
up, brother?
Good.
What's up? Y'all all right, man?
Hello, motion brother. How you holding up?
Good, man. Good, man. I just happened to pop over here and he doing this podcast and you guys Lamar Jackson fiasco as far as what the NFL is doing to him.
Yeah.
What the NFL is doing to him. It's sad.
Mm-hmm.
The owners are in collusion because the Cleveland Browns they set a precedent they did nobody else done. They gave a guy $250 million who hasn't played football in 2 years, guaranteed. All the owners are looking at the Browns like, what are you doing? What are y'all doing? So now you got all these other contracts that's coming and all these guys are getting big guaranteed paydays. And Lamar Jackson's stats and his performance has been better than everybody else and better than Deshaun Watson. So it's only right that Lamar is supposed to get the same contract or more guaranteed.
Yeah. Yep.
It's common sense. But if we know the Baltimore Ravens, the Ravens don't pay their quarterback unless they win the big game. Think about Joe Flacco.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah, they paid Flacco.
They didn't pay Flacco until he won a Super Bowl.
Right.
Yeah.
And when they paid Flacco, they lost everybody.
Yep.
And we saw what happened with that. So if the Lions are going to pay or trade or even entertain that, the same thing is going to happen with Detroit.
Yeah,
when
don't do it.
Guys that we're watching do good work, when it's time for them to get paid, it's not going to happen because that salary cap is going to be ate up.
Right.
Now, Lamar Jackson, great talent, awesome guy, MVP, young guy. Can he get the job done in Detroit to make them a winner or push them over the hump? It's 50-50. He got talent on both sides of the ball. He's got talent on the outside with Williams. He's got talent with what's the slot receiver that the Lions got? Can he get him the ball in those spaces? I think he can, because he did it with Hollywood Brown, and Hollywood Brown was dropping everything, but he still got him the ball.
Right.
Can he get Williams the ball? Yes. Can he get our tight end the ball? Yes. Now in the pocket, he's definitely a bigger threat than Jared Goff as far as scrambling. But can he be efficient when it's time to throw those 17-yard outs to the left and to the right? That's been his Achilles heel his whole career, but he's young.
Mhm.
And he's still every year has been better as far as passing that ball, as far as his production and his efficiency. So it's a crapshoot. Would I do it? No, I wouldn't do it. Because we got a lot of guys that we need to retain for the long haul. Because we've seen it in Detroit. We pay one guy, and the whole nucleus is gone the next year or the next 2 years because of the salary cap.
Right.
Stafford.
I got a question for you, Dan.
Yes, shoot.
So one thing I've been paying attention to is the contracts that Holmes has actually been handing out.
Yes.
And a lot of these contracts are movable, eatable contracts.
Right.
And I feel like these are the type of contracts he's getting with these guys. So for instance, they signed Mosley today.
Mm-hmm.
In a 1 year, $6 million contract.
Right.
Here's one issue. It basically is a prove-it contract.
Right.
Similar to what he gave. I think Shark had a prove-it contract, if I'm not mistaken.
1 year, $10 million.
Now, he's getting a guy that when he's on the field, he's shown the talent to produce really well.
Yes.
His issue is he's been injured. So you bring in a guy like that. The same thing with Sutton. This is a guy that has been productive with Pittsburgh, but it's only a 3-year contract. It's nothing that they can't move away from.
Of course.
So what I'm thinking is he's getting these type of contracts in preparation for a type of guy like Lamar. So where I can say, okay, I can eat this because everybody that I got around him is somebody that's productive on a movable or eatable contract.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know a lot of people, like, Elijah just said, if you think you're winning the Super Bowl this year, go for it.
Right.
As a Lions fan, that's not even necessarily what I'm looking for.
That's
I'm
not
looking for sustainable winning in production, and each and every year we're working our way towards it.
Yep.
Now, do you believe Lamar is that type of kid where he can progress every year, build upon what we've got? You got a ownership, a team or a management team that has your back, because it looks like the Ravens don't have his back no more.
That's done. That relationship is,
and now you're feeding off of what this kid is, the talent that he has, the offensive line that we have, the weapons that we have. You start investing on that defense. Now you're starting to look at something that, because we all know how football is. Football is really fickle. The team that you didn't think was going to win can win.
They can win it. They can make no.
And this is why I say this is where you capitalize on that window. If you bring in Lamar, and he gets us to the Super Bowl in 3 years, it's worth every penny.
Yep.
Just getting us there. I ain't saying win it. I'm just saying getting us there.
Now, that's from the fan IQ standpoint. Just getting us there, happy.
Yeah. Now, that's probably not that ain't how Holmes is gonna look at it. But
you're not signing him or trading for him to get there.
Mm-hmm.
You're signing and trading for him to win it.
Mm-hmm.
Because in that 3-year window, we're gonna lose people.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna be back. We're gonna be back.
You know the funny thing about that? You know the funny thing about that too? Because the flip side of it is, so what do you think golf is? Because am I looking at him to lead this team for the next 3 years?
Well, let's give Goff a lot of credit. He made lasagna out of dollar store products last year. He did great. We didn't know a lot of these guys who are on that offensive side of the ball who were making plays. Those guys went out there, strapped their chin straps up and said, let's just go play. Goff was looking bad for a minute, and then they caught a run. And then he's efficient if you look at his numbers. And Goff came from a ball club that won 10 games. 11, 12 games with the Rams and went to the Super Bowl. So Goff has his deficiencies, but his pluses outweigh his minuses, in my opinion. Because I don't hold him to I don't hold golf to a standard of a Aaron Rodgers. I don't hold him to a standard of a Pat Mahomes or a Tom Brady.
Mhm.
I hold him to that standard. He's just Jared Goff. He's proven that he can get guys the ball in space and let them do their job.
So I have a question for you as a
Dude.
Ravens fan. Okay. I
Yes.
want to tackle that side just for a
Yeah.
minute. So as
Yes.
a Ravens fan, you are obviously hearing me talking all that stuff about the Ravens.
Okay.
My question for you, okay?
Okay.
In my lifetime, I'm 29 years old. In my lifetime, the Ravens have always been a team that puts their entire identity on their defense, and they
Yep.
don't really value quarterback because in their experience, they haven't really ever needed one that can go out there and take over a game because their defense could bail them out of whatever. My
Mhm.
question for you is, are they stuck in that mentality? And is this decision to treat Lamar the way they're doing, is this going to take a Ravens franchise who isn't that old of a franchise from being one of the ones that we're always looking at to go to the playoffs to one that is going to be in a major rebuild 3 years down the road from now?
That's tricky because it's a different game. The rules are different. The game is totally different now. So the way that the Ravens played defense historically, can't even do it anymore.
Right.
That's number one. You can't even play that. You can't even do that anymore because it's so many freedoms and so many liberties now offensively. Can't even play that style. So you have to adjust.
That's a great point. That's a great point too.
You have to adjust to what the landscape is now. It's offense, offense, offense. If you hit a guy a half a second late, that's 15 yards plus 30 grand out of your check. So it's a different game. It's all about offense now. So what was the other piece of your question? Because I want to touch on every question that what was the other piece?
So the other piece of my question is, are they stuck in that mentality? Because it seems like they have not been making the investments on the offensive side of the ball. And I feel like that's because they say, well, we'll just build up the league's best defense. And then on offense, we just need somebody who can be a game manager.
Well, they tried to stay in that mentality, but they didn't have the personnel to make that happen. They didn't have the personnel. And then they lucked up and got Jackson in the draft because he dropped in the draft night. Right. So since he dropped draft night, you had to make an adjustment to your offensive philosophy. They had to change the entire offense to fit his skill set since you drafted him.
Mm-hmm.
So this is I would say this is a new philosophy for them as well. Because think about it, the Ravens were run heavy.
Yeah.
When was the last time they had a 1,300-yard rusher?
Right.
So they had to adjust as Lamar learned the game from the pocket and trying to protect him from all of the running that he's doing. So they've been going through a whole transition of philosophy on both sides of the ball. Ravens are my guys. That's the only team I root for. Yes, I root for Detroit because I'm from here and I'm a Lions. I'm from Detroit, so
right.
I root for them. But the Ravens been my guys since '99.
Right. So are you concerned at all that this decision, this bridge burning they're doing with Lamar,
man,
it's going to set them back?
It's so disrespectful what they're doing to him from a fan standpoint, from an athlete standpoint, and from a business standpoint. I hope he leaves. And they're going to have to fix whatever they need to do for that franchise to stay at a certain level. That it's on them because it's so disrespectful what they're doing.
Right.
All owners are in collusion. All the owners are in collusion because they're mad at Cleveland for setting the precedent. Now you're seeing all these other wild contracts getting all these big money, big $100 million guarantees, $150 million guarantees. It's nuts. So whatever happens with the Ravens from a quarterback standpoint and from a philosophy standpoint, it is what it is because you didn't do right by that guy. You're supposed to do right by him. But like they did Flacco, if you don't win the we're not going to pay you.
I certainly agree with that. Bobby, you haven't really spoken in a little while, my friend. So hop in here. Do you have any thoughts on this before we go back to Nate?
No, cause
Appreciate
like
you
I
guys.
said, man.
Thank you,
Yeah,
man. I appreciate
nice
it.
meeting you too, big dog.
Right.
Like I said before, Lamar Jackson football speak for itself. There's so many different ways I can go with the disrespect, like my guy was saying about to Lamar Jackson. It's just not looking good because I mostly think the reason that he not getting money for
Same shit.
getting his money is because they don't want him to get it without an agent.
Right.
I think that's the only. He's not the first quarterback that asking for a damn guaranteed contract. He the first definitely good one, no decision. With no decision body. He good. He a former. I haven't never seen so many former MVPs of the league at such a young age not get resigned. It's like that. Like since the day one he been in the NFL, they asked this boy. I mean, that's this man to be a quarterback. I mean, be a receiver. Oh, he ain't a quarterback. He didn't want to even train. They asked him to be a receiver. Oh, he ain't a quarterback. He went MVP at quarterback. Now they don't want to pay him, man. Every step of the way, he didn't have resistance, and I don't blame him for standing his ground. Now he stood his ground back then, and look where they got him. Because they was trying to put him at receiver, so he's used to standing his ground. And his mom was his agent. I think he just, he's still listening to her. And also, like you said, man, he done heard stuff bad about him. Typically, the agent wouldn't even give him wouldn't even bring the first two offers to him. So that
Call
alone,
that man everything but a child of God.
Yeah. They
Nate,
dogging him bad too.
Nate, let's hop
just
in.
like my guy said. And like my guy said, he been having trouble throwing outside the numbers. They adding all that shit into it. It's just bad for football, honestly.
So Nate, we're gonna go your opinion on Lamar Jackson, and then we're gonna go into Aaron Rodgers real quick.
Okay. All right. Well, he had one more part. He said basically.
Also, his teammates, they want him to get paid. They feel he deserves it. So what does that do to the locker room moving forward?
And the free agents that might want to come there.
Yeah, M-word.
Exactly. You have to look at that component as well. Like, well, this guy's our leader. He's done everything right by the ball club, doesn't get in trouble outside of the field, is a model citizen, does things in the community. He packs the facility, high selling jersey, shakes the kid's hand, kisses the baby, signs footballs. Everybody loves him. And you don't want to do right by him. That doesn't set a good tone in the locker room as far as what that organization is doing.
Absolutely right.
All right, Nate, before you set off the fire alarm, what do you your opinion on Lamar Jackson, and then we'll move into Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, it is, you guys covered it to a T. Like I say, me and him, we have these are the type of conversations that we have. Our dialogue is always back and forth. The same. That's why he fit right. That's why he jumped right. Hey, this is what we do anyway.
Right.
Again, Baltimore, what me and Bobby talked about, what Matt Patricia did when he got here, he ruined the morale of the team. So here's the two things that you can make or break as the Lions. The players there right now, they love Jared Goff. They love him. Now, you can bring in the MVP. How is the locker room going? Regardless if they grow to love him over time, Goff is their leader. Goff is their captain. They go to bat for Goff. The same way Lamar has that love in Baltimore, Goff has it here. So you move him. And everything, and us, being former athletes, it's not, regardless what you did with another franchise, when you come into this locker room, dog, we just don't give you the love and all that just because of what you did over there. You have to prove that you can fill the shoes of the guy that was here. So now everything is a comparison, not just from the analysts, not just from us, but from the guys that are in that locker room. You know, the way Jared Goff leads, how does Lamar Jackson lead? You know, all that. So again, it's one of them. As we know, Lamar Jackson is an amazing talent. He's an amazing talent. For what he could do with the offense, man,
His scrambling ability.
it would set the NFL on fire.
Detroit would be his.
Yeah. Detroit's going to be his just off of what he's done already. The day that they was to announce Lamar Jackson, his jersey would sell out in 24 hours.
Right.
It would instantly go to the #1 selling jersey in all of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Because we know that the Lions fan base, we know, is one of the best in the world. We love a team that don't got shit. We love a team of players that ain't shit. Like, we argue about who's the best between, we was talking about Jackson and fucking Reynolds. Now, you talk about a guy who's one of the best in the world at what he does.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to skyrocket. So he's going to have the key to the city the moment he goes to a press conference. So
you know what, Nate? I will say this though, and it's based on what you were talking about. As far as the locker room, the fact that his teammates where he's at right now want him to get paid speaks volumes. So that means that nothing that he has done has been anything that they feel has been malicious against that team. They know how he feels about his team. They know how he plays. The other kicker is
still over there.
What? Which I get. But here's the kicker with Goff. Yeah, we may have his back. Yeah, his teammates may have his back.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a reason why he was no longer around. Because when they needed him to deliver the most, he failed.
No,
and they 86'd him.
Oh my God.
No, that's not.
No.
So real quick.
No. You can't take that. We ain't eating that one.
Who did he lose to?
Yeah, because they won a Super Bowl with a dude that threw the most interceptions in the damn league. Nobody want to hear that.
So real quick.
But he won it though, didn't he? He won it though, didn't he?
Who did he lose that Super Bowl to?
He lost to Belichick.
Right. But let me hop in here real quick because I think that was an interesting point. I do want to say something else though, not to take away from what Reggie was saying about the locker room. Okay, this is what I would say. Lions fans, think about our locker room for 30 seconds. What makes us different than all the other teams in the league? We're the youngest. We're the youngest team in the league. So when we're talking about moving off of Jared Goff, okay, and even entertaining that idea, Nate, me, Reggie, Bobby, let's just put it this way. Fans with half a brain cell, okay, know that morale is a big deal, okay?
Yeah.
But what's also a big deal is the fact that for some of these players, he is the only professional quarterback they have ever known in their entire career.
Yeah.
He's the first. He's the first. So if you let him walk or you move off of him for Lamar, and I like Lamar, yeah, they're going to feel some type of way about that. Now, they'll get over it because they're professionals, but it is going to take some time. Because that's their first quarterback.
MVP.
Yeah. So I just want to throw that out there real quick.
And the reason why I said what I just said,
relationships matter.
Because if you go 3 years from now and Goff couldn't get it done, when I could have had Lamar, when depending on where Lamar goes, he does get it done. That's going to be the caveat.
Well,
and that's why I tell people all the time, like, I understand what's going on right now. We haven't won a thing. We haven't won a thing. The what we want to do is win. Number one is fans. That's what we really want. We really want our team to win. Who gives me the best chance at doing that?
That's the reason why I want to get.
And that's why I'm kind of like.
That's the reason why I don't get no quarterback no more.
I see
give him all the money. You ain't got no more money.
And the thing is, you're gonna have to pay him too. And the difference between paying him and paying Lamar is what? That's the question I really want to see.
Here's the kicker.
Or have answered.
Here's the thing. Let me ask a question. Was the offense a problem last season?
Nope.
At points, but not the entire season. No.
Yeah, at points.
At points. That it's what, 6 in the regular season?
17.
17. The offense was the problem. What? 3 games? 4?
Two.
I mean, Carolina was.
So
that might as well count as 5 games.
Let me preface that. Let me preface that one. Let me preface that a little bit.
You just want to ask.
In the first half of the season, there was a lot of games that we were in.
Ben Johnson fought, not golf.
Hold on, no, because somebody's on the field. This is a guy that you said got to the Super Bowl, right?
Okay.
It's the QB you said got to the Super Bowl, right?
And QBs make
mistakes. There's a guy that
True.
made decisions on the field.
Yes.
But you like, come on, bro. You can't keep doing the same thing over and over again.
Right.
Then
But
that
you
issue.
wait.
Give me a second. Give me a second.
Give
me a second. Give me a second. Then the second half, those issues were shored up. Which is why I have the feelings that I have about golf. Which one is going to show up more often? I don't know.
Once the offense discovered their footing and they got their philosophy down, you didn't say that again, did you?
Say what?
What is he doing? Where is he throwing it to?
Man,
actually, we did have a couple moments, but we did have a couple moments.
That's my point.
Right.
It wasn't as prevalent as it was earlier this year.
Exactly. And early, he's playing with new parts. He's playing with guys that never been starters that had to play.
Absolutely.
So it's an adjustment for them as well. A lot of time issues. You saw it on the football field. Watch the games because they didn't have the time together. They didn't have the rapport. They got it. They were dropping 30 on everybody. So let's just say this ball club is averaging 30. Do they really
scored on the Eagles first week?
Right. Do they really need
Ben Johnson didn't know how to call the plays with the lead that was losing a lot of them
guys early in the season. Scoring 40.
Lost a game scoring 40. So is the quarterback really the problem?
Dog.
Or is it timing?
Yeah.
And the personnel being on a court, being on one line.
He threw 3 interceptions at home all year.
You don't lose a game scoring 40 points, man. That's all I can say.
So let's shore up the other pieces. I'd rather take that money.
He's tired of the same thing.
Which I tell you, I get. That's why I said
That is crazy.
Hey, you're talking to a guy that can't stand. You're talking to a guy that
he can't either.
Matt Stafford was one of the blind. He's blind. I had season tickets.
Thank you. I like him, Nate.
Hey,
I like him.
So would you hate me?
Matt Stafford. Let's not talk about Matt Stafford.
So before we go off the rails,
okay, look, I know. Hold on, listen. Okay, listen. Let me get out of here. Let's get out of there. Okay, so listen. Before we go back to Brady, before we go to Rodgers, this is my last point.
Right.
This is my last point before we jump to Aaron Rodgers. Jared Goff is going to be up for a contract. What, next year? Correct?
Yeah. 2 years from now, I believe.
Well, look at it this way.
You don't pay him.
Geno Smith got one. Geno got 105.
And I got 5%.
How many years?
Danny Jones got 150.
3, I think.
How many years?
I think he 3.
3. Daniel Jones got 150 for 4. What if Jared Goff, coming off of the season he just had, where our team is top 5 in offense, going into his contract year, his stats don't decrease, our points per game are still high, and we're winning between 8 and 10 games again for the next 2 years. What contract is Goff going to be up for? Because we're talking about a bump. Well, Geno did all right. Geno to me got underpaid, but you're talking about Daniel Jones at 150.
He's sorry.
150. You're going to be looking at 200 for Jared Goff. Think about it.
In this hypothetical.
Yeah, no, well, this is hypothetical, but you're talking about
right. In this
10
hypothetical.
wins.
In this hypothetical,
Yeah,
you're saying 8 to 10 wins a season.
for the next 2 years.
My question is that 8 to 10 wins a season with winning a playoff game, or is that 8 to 10 wins a season and feeling like we did in January?
Well, actually, since it's 17, we're not 9 times. I'm going to say we consistently. So let's do 11 wins because we're going to win our division. I don't think no team beats us in our division.
Okay.
You go into the
I
playoffs.
thought y'all was scared of the damn Bears. Y'all not scared of the Bears?
No, I was no. We were scared. No. Hey, that was Reggie. I said what they was doing. Defense was good. Their offense still sucks.
Everything about the
We
Bears,
ain't
everything
like-
about the Bears is a projection.
Yeah.
We ain't there yet. Okay, I got you.
This ain't the 85 Bears where they can go out here and hit people in the head with fire. But you're talking about Jared Goff being up for contract. He wins. Well, actually, if we win our division, we would host a playoff game.
Correct.
Yeah, more than some people
Now,
have done.
Keep in mind, just hosting the playoff game itself would be what? 24 years?
Championship.
Okay, but that's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is, in your hypothetical, before I give you my answer, are we winning playoff games?
We win one playoff game.
In the next 2 years?
So if we win one
years?
playoff game, you pay Goff, right? That's what you're saying?
That's what I'm trying to ask him. I'm trying to get
we win one
Yes. We're going.
If he don't win the playoff game, no money, right? No money if he don't.
That's how I feel about it, because to me, if he doesn't win a playoff game and we're scoring all these points, well, then I'm starting to get a little PTSD, and I'm starting to feel like it's Matthew.
But wait a minute,
over again, which y'all bitch about all the time.
But here's the thing: you're still averaging 30 a year, so that's not on Goff.
Right, but what I'm saying is
a year. So
regardless,
regardless,
so we're holding a QB responsible, but we're not holding a QB responsible.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: you can't hold him responsible.
Same page.
No. Here's the thing.
I'm with it. If he don't win no playoff game,
you can't hold him responsible for the defensive side of the ball. Remember, we lost a game and they put up 40.
We're not talking about this year. We're talking about next year when you're winning.
Right. No, so listen to what I said. If he's still winning his games. His numbers have not dropped. We're averaging 30 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Which means it's not the offensive side of the ball that's the issue.
Wait. But are we winning a playoff game?
We can't do this way. We can't do this way. Because and the reason I'm saying this, so you telling me we're averaging 30.
We average 30
to the playoffs.
We average 30 this year.
We go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And because we average 30 and we win to the playoffs, even if
but we lose it.
Wait. Even if it's Goff's fault on the field that we lost.
Now,
30 and still be on the offense that you lost a game.
Well, wait a minute now. If you lose in 35 to 32, how was that on the offense?
How is it not? If it's decision making.
Here's I'm gonna hop in because we're getting very close to Bobby Bless's bedtime. Okay. Nate, with all the love in the world, with all the love in the world and all the respect in the world, and I mean it whenever I'm hyping up.
Yeah, I know.
Before I say what I'm gonna say.
Oh man, he's lubing it up, man.
I have heard from you and Bobby, for as long as I've known you, that Stafford was a bum because while he had all the stats in the world, he didn't win a playoff game.
Well, think about
first of all, he did not have all the stats in the world.
He didn't have all the stats.
So here's where I heard from.
Number 2 in NFL history.
Bobby, don't be
yards.
disingenuous like that. Don't be disingenuous like that.
He got a lot of yards.
Do not be disingenuous like that.
He got a lot of attempts too.
He got
a lot of yards. He got a lot of attempts.
Let me finish my statement. Okay. I know you're going to disagree, and that's fine, but let me finish my statement.
I'm agree with you.
We can't sit here and say okay, pay the man when he has averaging 30 points a game and all this other stuff, but he does not win a playoff game. Because otherwise,
Okay,
what we're complaining about with Stafford,
is the defense still 31, 32?
I mean, it's
lost.
the definition
the
of
defense still
hypocrisy.
31, 32?
That's the definition
the
of
defense
hypocrisy.
still 31 too?
Hey,
That's the
but guess
definition.
what? His points per game, his touchdown to interception ratio, his
Well, they don't even talk
QBR,
about that.
it's all higher than Matthew Stafford.
It's
So,
all also
I'm
in
not-
a
I'm not-
different
okay.
era of football as well.
okay.
So what are we talking about?
What
Is that what
era
we're
is
really
you
doing?
talking about?
Is that
I
what we're
don't know
really
what
doing?
era he talking about.
So
What era?
here's what I'm saying.
So,
Here's
hold
what
on. Mom, hey, is Broski still over there?
He right here.
Now, what we just
What
talking
era?
about the era of football that we in?
Stafford played in the same damn era.
No. I'm just asking a question.
What's the question?
What era of football are we in when they talk about defense?
It's a whole different era now.
It's a whole different era, correct?
Whole different era. It's entirely different ball game.
Cater to who?
Offense.
Okay, that's all I was asking. I was just making sure.
Okay.
That was it.
And he
That
still
was it.
throw interceptions.
That was it. I just wanted to make
Talk
sure.
about them interceptions Stafford throw
So, okay.
to
all
the
right,
offense
hey,
catered league.
hey,
Lord have mercy.
listen,
I don't-
The offense catered
I
league,
will
but
give
Stafford
you-
throw the most interceptions.
I will give you that he threw interceptions. Okay. I will give you that, but y'all are missing the point. Like the point's right here, and y'all are way over here. My point is,
No,
my
I
point
asked
is,
you.
respectfully, my point is, are we winning a playoff game? If we do not win a playoff game, you do not pay this man a big
is
contract.
the
That's all
defense
I'm
still
saying.
31 and 32? Is the defense still ranked 31 and 32?
That
There
doesn't
you
matter.
go.
That
Is the
doesn't
defense
matter
still
to me.
ranked 31 and 32?
I don't know. Nate's the one that asked the question. Nate, is your defense in this
There's no way you win 11
but
games with the
that's
defense
not
is
fair.
that bad.
32?
No, that's what I was saying.
If the
if
defense
they're
32,
off
they won
numbers,
9
our
with
offense-
32. They won 9 games with a 32, 31. They
All
won
right,
9.
remember-
They
If
couldn't
you're
win
winning
12.
11 games and winning
With
your
the number two
division
defense-
and going into the playoffs, most likely your team is not 31 in defense.
Stafford had the number 2 defense in the league and didn't win a playoff game. They didn't
And
even
Calvin Johnson.
So we not no.
And they
no,
did not bring that
that's
same
not my
team
point.
back. Did they not the next year?
They
Because
got
he shit the
Calvin
bed.
Johnson with the punt
He
return
what?
formation.
That's not my point.
Oh, so that's the reason why they didn't bring the defense back? Oh, okay,
No,
you know what? Let's
no.
talk about
That's
Aaron
not
Rodgers.
reason
Let's
why.
talk about Aaron Rodgers. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers.
Hey,
Like, if
we
that's
need to
what
do
we
a show on
doing,
this.
if that's what we
we
doing,
need
we
to
might
do
as
a
well
show
move
on
on.
this. We need to do
We
a
might as
show
well
on
move
this.
on.
We need to do a show
We
on
gonna
this.
do a show.
We
All
did
we gonna
Caldwell. We
I
did
promise
Caldwell.
you-
It's time to do
I
Stafford.
promise
Time to do
you,
the Stafford show.
before we go to Aaron Rodgers, okay, I can promise you this, because we had a lot of people talking over other people, and that was just wild, okay? When you go back and rewatch that, we are all making the same damn point, but we're talking over each other and nobody can hear each other. But that's fine. We're going to move on now to another topic. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. He might be getting his ass out of our division, and that would obviously be a good thing.
Nobody care about that bump.
Your opinion on what's going
Brenda
on.
do. Don't
Yeah.
nobody care about Rodgers but Brenda.
Nate, your opinion on Aaron Rodgers.
It's time for Cameron Poe to just walk off and disappear into the sunset. He's on that last hurrah, just like Brett Favre did. Brett Favre left Green Bay, went to the Jets. From the Jets, he went to Minnesota, then signed with Green Bay for one day and retired. Aaron Rodgers is and has been the problem in Green Bay for the last 4 to 5 years. This has been the issue. Green Bay has had one of the best pass rushes in the league. Their defense has been one of the best. But the thing that has pegged Aaron Rodgers, no, he does not have all the interceptions that Stafford does. But he has all the sacks, all the hits, because his ass don't throw the ball away either. And he wants to blame the wide receivers. So Aaron Rodgers, I'm glad he's gone, but his career is done. He's a locker room disaster. He wants to blame everybody but himself. That's my take on him.
Bobby, your take on it.
Glad he gone, but I still don't believe he gone. Just like my Saddam Hussein theory. Until that motherfucker all too way gone, I won't believe it. It's not until I see him shaking the damn Jets owner's hands, I won't believe he gone. So
True shit. True shit.
Reggie, your thoughts on this Aaron Rodgers stuff? I guess he's shaking his head.
Reggie, you gotta say something, man.
Bye, bum.
Okay, so let me say this here on Aaron Rodgers. So, couple of things. Number one, my father is a Packers fan. Okay, so I grew up having to watch the Packers whenever they would play, whenever we could get their games, because we lived in Atlanta, which meant you got regional games. So a lot of times he was upset and having to watch the Atlanta Falcons. But anyway, when we would watch the Packers, that's his team. Okay. And I find it interesting that everything that people complained about Brett Favre for, how mean he was to Aaron Rodgers is doing that same exact bullshit on his way out the door. Because if you remember when he was getting drafted and he was falling, he was waiting there and they had every single camera on him. And, you know, if you're watching the draft with your mama or your grandma, she's like, I wish I could reach through the TV and give that poor man a hug. Everybody felt sorry for him. Then he goes to Green Bay and he doesn't get a chance to play immediately because, well, Brett Favre may or may not retire. And let's see what we have in Aaron Rodgers when the time is right and all this other crap. He has himself a decent time as the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. Then they draft Jordan Love. And he turns around after he got all that sympathy earlier in his career and does the same crap to Jordan Love that Brett Favre did to him. So for me, I just find it interesting how history repeats itself. I also find it interesting that the Jets are the team that's going to end up with Aaron Rodgers at the end of all this stuff. Because that's where Brett Favre went, as that point's already been made. Here's what I think's going to happen, and this is where I get my tinfoil hat out and I start speaking in conspiracies. I think Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets. I think he plays maybe 1 or 2 years there. And then I think he comes back to the NFC North, and I think he plays for the Chicago Bears. The team that he said he owns, because he owns that entire state, every time he played them. And I think you're going to see Bears fans who are going to suddenly not know what to do, whether they want to vomit or embrace the man or both at the same time. I think that's what's going to end up happening. He's going to go to the Jets for a brief intermission, and he'll be back in this division playing for the Bears with maybe at that time what Reggie was talking about earlier in the show, that delayed gratification paying off. And now they got Aaron Rodgers to go with that defense. So that's what I think is going to happen. I don't have anything else to back up that theory. Again, it's a conspiracy, but that's what I think might end up happening is he might do what Brett Favre did, come back to our division and go play for the Bears here in 2 years. Now, he has made a demands list to the Jets. He wants them to sign all these people. And I would personally, this ain't going to happen, but I would personally laugh my ass off if he gets every one of his friends a job with the New York Jets and then decides not to go there. Because now they're stuck with all these players that maybe they didn't want, but they were only signing because Aaron Rodgers told them to. Because if you look at Denver last year, they wouldn't have hired Nathaniel Hackett if they knew they weren't going to get Aaron Rodgers, because that's the whole reason why they did it. And Nathaniel Hackett's got a job with the Jets, probably for that same reason. So I don't know. To me, that's interesting. Last point on Aaron Rodgers. I'm wondering if the reason why this has taken so damn long to finally get done is if Zach Wilson is involved in this trade. Because if you think about it for the Jets, why would they want Zach Wilson sitting behind Aaron Rodgers when they don't believe in the kid? Because if they believed in him, he'd be their starting quarterback. But I think they don't believe in him. That's why they're getting Aaron Rodgers. And what's going to happen with Zach Wilson? will Zach Wilson go to Green Bay? Because Green Bay likes Jordan Love, but they've not seen Jordan Love play for an entire season yet. And the knock
Yeah, they see Zach Wilson.
the knock on Jordan Love was all the interceptions he was throwing in college, and he still hasn't really fixed that in his NFL career so far. So why not have a backup plan that's affordable in Zach Wilson? Last point on Zach Wilson before I toss it to the other guys here if they have anything to say. Zach Wilson coming out of college, the person he was compared to the most was Aaron Rodgers. So it seemed like the Jets got sick of dealing with the imitation and are trying to get the real thing. So that's what I got for you on Aaron Rodgers. But again, I see him going to the Jets, and for some reason in my gut, I think he ends up becoming a Chicago Bear before the end of his career, and I think that would be damn interesting.
Honestly, I feel, or it appears, the coach doesn't even like Aaron Rodgers, and he can't run the kind of culture that he wants to run with Aaron Rodgers there.
Right.
Because Aaron Rodgers has so much control.
Yeah.
He has the owner's pockets because he knows he's guaranteed money.
He's the
if he's there. He fills the seats. He fills up the hope of that hope thing that Jerry Jones sells.
Yeah.
So it's tough. We can say all our points and counterpoints, but when the owners look at that bottom line, when Aaron Rodgers is here versus when he's not, that's what matters. And the coach's opinion doesn't even matter when it comes to the bottom line.
Yeah, and if you're the coach of the Packers, which obviously we wish them nothing but the worst on the football field. But
indeed,
if you're the coach of the Packers, you better hope you're right about getting Aaron Rodgers out of the building. Because if you're wrong, I mean, this is a franchise that has not known back-to-back losing seasons in a very, very long time. So for me, I just find the whole situation hilarious, to be honest with you. And I'm here for it. I got my bucket of popcorn. I'm here for the whole damn thing. Plus, if you're Robert Saleh, what makes you believe that Aaron Rodgers is suddenly going to be a person who's just going to fall in line with whatever it is you have to say? Because
I was going to say that.
Coach. And Saleh, I think he's just hanging on for dear life and hoping he don't lose his job.
I got something for you. Don't be surprised if Aaron Rodgers plays a season or two, maybe, with the Jets. If he goes there, I can see Aaron Rodgers going to the Raiders because they're dumb enough to pay him.
Yep. And with Jimmy G getting banged up, that certainly could be something. But
they're dumb enough to pay him.
Would you put Aaron Rodgers with Bill Belichick?
Hell no.
No, because Belichick doesn't want anybody else to be the star other than him. Even though everybody else always talks about do your job and the Patriot way, and it's all about the team. Really, it's all about whoever strokes Bill's ego. That's really what it's about. At this point,
that's why his assistant's gonna be shit.
Because remember, Belichick he's old school. He's throwback. Yeah. Nobody's word is stronger than his.
Mm-hmm.
And Chris has had the liberty of making his words stronger than the coach.
Right.
So he's damn. Yeah, he would never go.
Green Bay coach better be right on it, and I hope he's wrong. So we'll see what happens. Before we wrap up this show,
2 years.
What I care about? We were able to taste Aaron's tears before he left.
Hey, I'm hopeful that the last game he played in Lambeau was a loss to the Detroit Lions. Let's go ahead and do closing remarks here because I know it's already past 8 o'clock at night and we'd like to spend some time with the family. So, Nate, closing remarks from you, my friend.
Man, it's just good to be back with the fellas. Took some time off, celebrated my birthday. Thank you everybody for the prayers and everything but my dad. But again, we've got to trust Brad Holmes and what he's doing. Continue to, be ready for the uptake and see what's going to happen with this Lamar thing. But because as we know, rumors are only rumors. We've been rumored to be the landing spot for a lot of guys. And not once has it panned out, except for the one with Sutton. But Brad Holmes didn't pull the trigger with Jalen Ramsey. We haven't seen anything with Darius Slay. We didn't see anything with Ndamukong Suh. Guys that were panned to come back home or to be here. So again, it's going to be interesting to see what's up with Lamar. But like I say, man, we just gonna watch and see what happens. Tampering periods here. We on the high. We getting ready for the draft. And hey, we rolling, man.
All right, Bobby Bless, your closing remarks, my friend.
Just pay Jamal Williams, and I would. Hey, if they don't pay Jamal Williams, I'm really, really interested to see why and what they replacing him with, because it can't be Craig Reynolds.
My friend Reggie, what you got for us?
Bye, Aaron. Hello, Lamar.
He said,
You're stupid.
okay, we're gonna get Darnez a chance to say his remarks before you get up out of here, I guess.
Darnez, go ahead.
Appreciate you guys allowing me to speak to you and allow me to verbalize my opinion on your platform, man. I've been watching Nate do his podcast with you guys for a minute, and I've been sitting back going, one of these days I'm gonna join him. And just so happened today was the day. So I appreciate you guys allowing me to chit chat with you, and it was great meeting you. And
nice meeting you too, big dog.
Yes, sir. And in regards to the Lions, I think their total focus needs to be on defense. That's it.
Well, hey, thank you so much for joining us, my friend. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead, continue.
Oh no, I think yeah, that's it. They're instilling hope again in the Lions faithful. Looking at their last 9 games, we saw potential, we saw promise, and they have opportunity. They have a big opportunity to do something big if they're going to come in with that same momentum, that same grit, the same ballsy approach. They have a great opportunity next season to do some good things. But we saw it as analysts, as couch analysts, chair analysts,
fake ESPN crew.
we saw
Fake
it.
ESPN crew.
We need it on defense. We need it on defense. We need a corner that NFL teams respect. We need a linebacker, and we need D-end pressure. We need D-line pressure. So hopefully they shore up those schemes and get some personnel in there. And I think they'll be able to make some major noise in the league, because a lot of teams respect them. A lot of teams have said post-game it's very physical and very tough playing Detroit. So the reputation has changed. So they got to keep running with that momentum and keep that fear in the ball clubs with adding certain personnel and certain schemes to keep that push going.
All right. Well, hey, I want to thank all the fellas for joining me here on this episode of the On the Hump podcast. It got interesting. It certainly did. And
we having that Stafford conversation, man.
Let me just say, before we wrap this thing up, here's what I love about this show. Okay, we can all vehemently disagree with each other, but we respect each other enough, and there's love there. And no matter what, we're good.
Right. Before we go, one more thing, y'all. Remember, 4 subscribers away, y'all. We're giving away that brand new Apple Watch. We are 4 away. I promise you guys. Hey, listen, brand new, still in the cellophane, ain't never been touched. It's been sitting for the last 3-4 months. Now,
Black Friday.
You guys,
Black Friday, November.
Hey, listen, I'm telling y'all tonight. We're going to get those 4 subscribers tonight. Because, look, his page alone is going to so we should get this over with tonight.
I certainly hope so. But again, I just want to say, one of the things I love about this show, again, we can vehemently disagree, but you know what? It's all love. between all
All love all the time.
podcasts. So, for Nate, Darnez, Bobby, and Reggie, and myself, Elijah, have yourself a great night. And hey, it's free agency. Get ready to see some brand new Lions. It's on the hunt.
Breaking news.